Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, installing some, I got this package in the mail and it's some Demon fog lights. So I'm gonna go ahead and be installing that on my FRS. Alright, so this is what the halo looks like, and when I turn it on it's supposed to be blue. The little ring around it, and it also has a light. Now this kit I bought comes with absolutely no instructions, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to wire this and hook it all up. And now the first thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is just remove the bumper cover, because it doesn't have fog lights right there. So I just ordered these right here, and then it's like a halo. It just came in the mail, so I'm gonna install those real quick. On a little update, I installed a vented fiberglass hood on my FRS, and I added these hood pins right here. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so first you just want to go ahead and remove the whole front bumper cover. So let me get my drill gun. Another update on the car, I smoked out the rear tail lights. Those look pretty nice. I used these night shades right here. Came out pretty good. Alright, so I finally got the bumper out off the car. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and open these up and figure out how to wire all of this shit up. Alright, so this is the bumper right here, and this kit came with no instructions, so I'm just gonna wing it, and I'm pretty sure I have like a good idea of how it's supposed to go on there. So basically in here where the original fog light was, there's two holes right here, and then like underneath here there's like two little things where this part right here can slide in. So I think this part it just goes in like that, and this part goes screwed in right there, and then the cover on it like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that together and see if everything fits perfectly. So let me do that real quick. Alright, so I was kind of right. It ended up not fitting on top, but if you put it in from behind the bumper and then you screwed it in right there, and then the little tabs slide in right there on the side, and it actually fit pretty nice. So now I just gotta put this thing over it right there. Make sure to clip that in, but before I clip that in, I'm gonna go ahead and wire. It came with two wires, and then this whole bag right here. So I gotta figure out how to connect these real quick. So let me do that real quick. Alright guys, so this is the long harness that the kit came with. So what I decided to do was I laid it out. That's the right fog light with the thing attached to it. So it runs through here, and then this connector goes into the left one, and all of this. So I'm guessing this whole, all of these, the switch, the relay, and the fuse, they all go inside of the car because they're all like bundled up together down here. So I'm pretty sure all of these go wired up inside of the car. So what I'm gonna do is, there's a grommet right there, the same grommet that I use to put my power wire from my bass, my subwoofers in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and run all of these through there. Instead of trying to fit all of these big ones through there, if you follow it, it unclips right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and unclip it, and just from the inside run this wire out through the grommet, maybe through the same little hole the other wire is through, if it fits. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that real quick and show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so I managed to run it through the firewall, so that's what it looks like. But I'm thinking maybe, because this cable is like super long, so maybe I can get the whole white part to go, like this whole part that's exposed, to go inside of the firewall, and so that part can be inside of the car, just in case if it gets wet over here or nothing. I don't want it to mess that part up. That way so basically it'll just be this black one running into the firewall. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can do that real quick. Alright, so I managed to get the whole thing in there. So now that's what it looks like. It's just this black cable running through the firewall inside. And then if we go ahead and look inside of the car, that's what it looks like right there. So that black piece up there is the little grommet thing, and then the cable's just running through there. And now this is gonna be the tricky part, figuring out how to wire all this up. So we got a relay right here, we got a fuse, and then we have the actual button. So now the fog light button that it came with, it has to go right here. And now you can see that right here there's no place for it to go, but the kit actually came with like a new one of these things right here. So I have to pop this one out, put in the new one, and then it should fit in there. So let me go ahead and do that real quick, since I know I gotta do that. So let me get the new one. Alright, so right here. Alright, so this is the new one right here, and now I basically have to take that one out and put this one in. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so to take this thing out, I thought you would just be able to pop it out, but no, you actually have to remove this thing right here. So I just popped that off, and then there was like one screw down here, and then I just yanked it down, and then now it's loose. So what we gotta do is disconnect everything and then pop it out. Yeah, or we could just pop everything off. You know, yeah, let me disconnect everything. Alright, and there we have it. So I just unplugged all the switches from the old one, and there's the new one. Now we just go ahead and clip it back on there. And there you go, fits like a glove. So now here comes the challenging part. Now I gotta figure out how to wire all this shit up so that the fog light can work and the halo can work, and so I can be able to control it on and off. So I'm gonna go ahead and figure that out, and then I'll show you guys how I did it. Alright guys, so I'm pretty sure I figured out how the wiring is supposed to be done on these things. So I looked at a few other videos on YouTube, and everyone had like the Windjet fog lights and everything, and they ended up actually wiring all of these things to the battery or near the battery. However, the fog lights that I bought are like the Halo ones, so everything is like opposite. So there's no way that I can wire, like put this next to the battery and wire these up to the battery, because if I do, then the cable for the actual switch won't be long enough to run all the way through from the passenger side to the driver's side. So basically, the way they have it wired up, everything connects to this relay right here. So alright, so everything connects to this relay right here, and on the relay there's a fuse. On the fuse there's this wire that's not connected to anything. There's this brown wire right here, and then there's a ground wire. So basically what I'm thinking is these two are ground. I'm thinking that this black one is ground for the relay, and then this brown one is ground for the actual fog lights, and this purple one right here is power. So basically I have to wire this up to 12 volts. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and wire this one up to, there's a fuse box down here, so I'm gonna wire this one to one of the fuses that has 12 volts running through it. So this fuse right here is going to constantly have 12 volts, and which is gonna power the relay. But the relay is gonna be, so the fuse is gonna power the relay, but the relay is going to be turned on and off by the switch. So the switch is wired, goes in right here through the relay and the fuse. So this fuse is gonna be hot all the time, and the fuse, so there's gonna be power right here, but when I switch it on and off, the relay is what's gonna switch on and off, which is then gonna either cut or open up the 12 volts to run to the fog lights in the front, which will enable them to turn on and off. So that's my theory on how I think I'm gonna go ahead and wire them up. Is I'm gonna go ahead and find a ground for these two, black and brown, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and wire this one up to power. So I'm gonna do that and try it and see if the fog lights work, and then if they do work, then I'll figure out how to wire up the halos. So let me do that real quick, and I'll show you guys how I ended up wiring everything. Alright guys, so this is kind of like a little hack that I learned to test my method before I start wiring everything up. So like I said, so the purple wire is power, this black one is obviously ground, and then this brown one, I thought it was ground, but I traced it back up and it's actually power for this switch, for the actual fog light switch. So these two, purple and brown is power, black is ground, and then I trace the cable that actually connects to the fog light, and there's another blue one hanging off of it, and this blue one's also ground. So I have the fog light right here, and I have it already, it's already connected in there. So what I'm gonna do is hack it. I'm basically gonna like hot wire it to make sure everything is what I think it is. So I have this battery right here. It's a battery from the drill gun that I use. So you can see right here that that's battery positive. This is positive and negatives over here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wire everything right there and see if the light turns on. And if it does, then that means I'm correct and I can go ahead and wire everything up. So blue, negative, black, negative. I got those two in there, and then I think these two, purple and brown, are positive. So let's see. Alright, so right there it's touching. So now let me just, yep, so the switch is already on. So I already know that that's, the brown is positive for the switch, because the switch, you can see right there that it's on. So now let's see if the purple one is positive for the fuse and the relay. So when I hit the switch, it should turn on. So let's see. Yep. So right there I hit the switch and the top light came on, and there's the fog light. Alright guys, so it's been about 30 minutes, but I finally figured out how to wire it so everything's good. It turns on and off with the switch. So let me show you guys what I did. So this is the fog light right here, and what I ended up doing was if you look under here right there, what I ended up doing was the purple and the brown wire, I spliced them. I had some extra wire left over from when I installed my subwoofer, these blue wires right here. So what I ended up doing was splicing both of those. Since those are both power, I spliced them and ran the blue wire through the firewall, and you come outside. So this is the blue wire right here. So I ran it out through here and then into the battery right there, into the positive terminal of the battery. So I basically just I ran it down through there, through the same grommet that we run everything through. So right there you can see it. It's that blue one right there. And then inside, I just went ahead and spliced the two power ones to it. So that has power all the time because it's coming straight from the battery. And for the ground, the blue and the black one, so this blue one right here is actually going to be grounded but outside, because this one's near where the connector is. So this one's going to be grounded on the chassis of the car outside, but the black one that was ground for the relay, right here on the side where we took the little, where is it, where we took this little panel piece off right here, that one screw that we took out, I just went ahead and grounded this cable right here. I just grounded it to this, since this is metal right here. So everything works. So let me show you guys that it works. So that's the light, that's the switch right there. And then if I press it, on. So that works. And then for the relay, what I ended up doing was right here. Can't really see. Alright, so for the relay, what I ended up doing was I removed this 10mm bolt right here. This is the thing for the hood latch. So I removed the 10mm bolt, and then I put the relay in right there, and then I put the bolt back in there. And that sits in there nice and cozy. So those are the two wires right there, spliced into the other one. Everything runs through the firewall up there through that grommet. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is organize this. I'm probably just gonna zip tie everything up there and then put everything back together and show you guys how to wire up the halos. Alright guys, so this is what I ended up doing to wire up the actual halo on the light. So what I did was, there was a positive and a negative behind the fog lamp, and this is for the halo. So what I did was I grabbed the side marker. The side marker bulb is supposed to go in there. So what I did was I just cut it, since I'm not running side markers right now. Everything's just sort of zip tied up here. So what I did was I just connected the positive and the negative to the side marker light. So that way when I switch on my lights, these come on. And I did the same thing on this side right here. And this side I just wired it straight to the cables, because when it got hit, the actual connector piece broke and I didn't feel like buying it. So I'm just gonna tape these off and electrical tape. And let me show you guys how it works. So right here, when you switch it on, can't really see it because it's so bright right now. Let's see if you can see this one. You can't really see it, but it's on. I'll show you guys at night how they look. And when you switch it off, they turn off. So that's how I'm gonna run them for now. So that's how I'm gonna go ahead and run them for now. I'm just gonna wrap them in electrical tape right here so they don't touch each other. Alright guys, so I had everything wired up and I went ahead and mounted the actual lamp onto the bumper on both sides right there. So once they're mounted on, basically you just want to grab these the bezels. Just the other one right here. So just grab the bezels and clip them on. And then do the same thing for the other side. I'm gonna do that last though. And then, so what you want to do is the rest of this wiring that's coming up from in there, I'm just gonna run it through like behind all this stuff. So I'm gonna just run it in through there and then fish it out over here underneath here somewhere, and then just go ahead and connect them and then run it through. And I'm gonna zip tie it to the, I'm probably gonna zip tie it somewhere on the bumper reinforcement or on the bumper itself. So let me figure that out real quick. Alright, and this is the final product of the wiring. So basically I ran it in through there and I just clipped them on right there, and then the blue wire right there, I don't know if you can see that blue one, but that's the blue one to ground the actual fog light, not the halo, and I just used that grounding point down there. So then I ran the cable behind there underneath the light right here is this black, and I just ran it across right there. I plugged it in right there and I plugged it in right here. So now everything should be good. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and put the bumper back on and show you guys what it looks like. Alright guys, so I finished installing the front bumper, putting everything back together, and that's how the halos look on it right there. I'm gonna see if I could get some shots of it at night and post that at the end of the video, how they look at night. But right now they're not too bright. So that's the halo right there. And then if I hit the fog light switch, those are the fog lights right there. So you can see everything's working.